Hi there, and welcome to Abstract Art from the Cottage. So these are just a few stamps and stencils that I'll be using today. So I'm starting with quite a small canvas. I think it's about 12 inches by 10. And I usually work on really huge canvases, but for this demonstration, I'll just use this small one. And I'm putting on some just random stripes of earthy colours. I thought this was a raw sienna, but it's not, it's bronze. So it's a bit, I'll probably change that in a little while. And I just put these stripes on, or random squares or whatever. In this case, I'm doing stripes. And here I'm using a lovely chocolatey, that is the burnt sienna, that one. That's lovely. And I love the earth colours, and it doesn't matter if you've got marks in it, and I like the marks in it actually, stripes in it and things. And now I'm going to put some burnt umber in the mix. And oh, look at that. It's all looking very chocolatey and yummy at the moment. All earthy colours going on there. I'm putting this on with a palette knife because I can get a good thick coat. That's what I want. I want it to cover that canvas and be quite thick. I don't like it all skimpy and thin paint, which, you know, with a brush you'd have to put on a few coats to get it to that thickness, really. And I think the next colour I should put on is black, nice black. Just get that, a nice stripe of that going on, because when I do the printing on top, I probably, you know, gold looks lovely on black. So I'll probably use some of that as well. And then I think I better put some gold at the end. Oh, I don't like that colour, so I'll just go over it a little bit. It is a lovely colour, but in this case, I don't think so, because I want to put some light colours on top. So I'll just put some nice thick gold on there for the next stripe and see what happens. I really like this gold. It's very, very gold. And it's a Baker Ross paint. It's inexpensive. Very nice. You know, you don't need all these expensive paints and equipment and canvases and, you know, you just don't. As long as you're happy with what you've got, you can do beautiful, beautiful paintings. I once did a painting when I lived in America. I did a painting on cardboard with gold and black, and I must say I just love that painting. It's a lovely painting it was, and it was just on cardboard because I didn't have any specialized paper or canvas or anything, and I just decided to do painting one day, and so I used cardboard, and it's gorgeous painting, I have to say. And that's just reminded me about L.S. Lowry. When Lowry, who was a famous artist, he did, I don't know if you remember, he did matchstick men and matchstick cats and dogs in factories. And when he first started, he started painting on cardboard boxes that he got from shops. I decided to cover the bronze with an olive green. And, oh, top tip, if you've got a tube of paint that is finished, just cut it and put one of these clips, you know, that you get for sandwich bags and things like that. just put a clip on it, and there's loads in there. You can get it. You can get it out with a lolly stick or a palette knife or something, and then just clip that on, and it stays nice and moist. You can get every bit out of it. So we've got our base for our painting, and now here is a jelly plate. Now you can get these at any art outlet, any art shop, and you can also make one yourself if you wanted to. The recipe for it is on. You can get it online. Oh, there we've got a bumblebee going around. Anyway, it's a lovely bumblebee too. But anyway, so yeah, so the jelly plate. So this is 6x6. I've got 2 or 3 of them. I've got an 8x8 as well. And this is one that someone bought for me as a present. So, but I did make one once, and they're quite easy to make, and it involves glycerine and gelatin. And anyway, if you look online for a homemade jelly plate, you find it. So this looks like it's quite nice and dry now. So I'm going to use a cream, I think, and I make a cream by using white and a tiny dab of yellow ochre. And that makes a beautiful cream. So I'll put some cream on the jelly plate and give it a good old roll with the roller or brayer. It's a good idea to have a couple of these brayers. I usually use one for the light colours and another one for the dark colours. Okay, so I'm just using a lovely cream on this jelly plate. I'm just rollering that on with the brayer, and I'm just putting this stamp onto the paint that I've just put on there, and that's a lovely pattern. And this is one of my favourites, spotty dotty thing. And most of these things that I'm using are shower mats and that kind of thing. I've only bought a few stencils. This one here I made myself. It's just a piece of cardboard really. And the more paint you get on it, and the more it becomes like a plastic, and it'll last and last for a long time. Anyway, you can use anything that will leave a lovely mark and impression and pattern. You can use pieces of fabric, you can use pieces of linen, pieces of lace. You can just experiment with things, pieces of string, anything that you can possibly think of. You can go around looking for things that, oh, that'll make a nice pattern in the paint. So let's get this on here now, onto this canvas. And it's a good idea to have, I've got a little roller or brayer that I keep especially for pressing down on the canvas, onto the jelly plate. So obviously I want to keep this separate from anything that I use for paint and keep it clean because I'm using it on the canvas. So let's take that off, peel it. You have to sort of peel it off. And that's the print that we've got at the moment. Now, I like to layer my prints. I have layers and layers. So there'll be a lot more that, going on with this little painting. I think if you haven't ever done this before, you'll just have so much fun doing it. And you can do it on paper, you can do it on card. Um, I've even done it on some picture frames, no, frames for my paintings. I'll show you those on another video maybe. So I've just got here, I've just got some burnt sienna, and I'm just putting a few stamps on. Most of these things are some are stencils. I use them as a stamp. I just stamp it into the paint and then, and then put the canvas on it. So let's try this and see what this looks like. It's just a question of trial and error, really. Okay, let's get that nice and rollered on. And there we are. We've got, now, I'm not so keen on this colour that I've got here. I'm not so keen on it, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it. And so the beauty of it is that if you don't like it, just wait for it to dry and change it completely. And you'll see that I'm layering and layering during this demonstration. We'll be changing things all the time. So I'll go back to a cream again. It might look white, but it's not white. It's just off-white. It's just cream. And let's see what we can do. I like to make these designs myself. Sometimes I don't always use stamps and stencils. I draw into the paint sometimes. These designs that you see here, I call them my Bohemian style prints, really. And the ones that you saw at the beginning of the video were mostly, some of them were on canvas, but some of them were on card. I use a very thick card and I've got very large pieces. And I do sell a lot of my work. I've got my work in online galleries, several online galleries, and I sell my paintings. So we've got some new sections here going on, and I'm just going to decide here what I'm going to do. So you can see there that I've got this nice gold area. Now I'm just making another small section, and you'll see why I don't need a huge jelly pad. I just need this small 6x6 because I do sections. I don't do the whole sheet. A lot of these jelly printing artists, or I should say artists that do jelly printing, they do the whole sheet of paper with one print. I don't do that. I've developed this style that I do several small areas on a canvas, small squares and stripes and different things, and that's what I do. And I also layer. I don't just do it once, I do layers and layers, as you'll see. So we'll get this one onto this print onto the canvas and see what that is looking like. Oh, that's nice. I just need to, yes, I like that. I just need to just keep enhancing the sides or the bottom and the top. You know, where the print hasn't printed, I can just put something in there. I'll just put, I don't know, I've got some nice stencils that I can put in there. And I'll use the cream again. So you see that I masked that area off with a little bit of just, you know, just these magazines that you get from the grocery store. I use a lot of those for cleaning your brayer and for masking as well. So this is a nice little stamp that I've got. It's text, and I'm just putting that in any little areas. Look, that's nice. I love that little stamp. I'm putting it in any little areas that are a little bit plain. I think you're going to have so much fun, especially if you've never done this before. You're going to have so much fun doing these, and they do make an absolutely beautiful abstract painting. I've sold a lot of these paintings, and I've also done, most of them are really huge, really big, and they look absolutely gorgeous in the buyer's home. Sometimes they send me a picture, and yeah, they look lovely. So I'll include some of those pictures as well, maybe, possibly at the end of this video. We'll see if I can find them. I'll do that. So I'm just doing, this is another thing that I like to use, the lid of a coffee jar. And I don't just stamp into it, I drag it slightly. I love that. I use that a lot. And I love that design that it makes. So here are those free magazines that you get from like the grocery store, Lidl's and places like that. Asda. I always pick up a handful when I go there because I use them all the time for cleaning my brayer and masking. So let's see what this looks like. Now this is just a square in the corner that I've done. And I have to be mindful of how long this video is taking. Now, I really, really like that. That is the black over the gold. Now that is my style, definitely. And the painting's filling up nicely. Can you see? Very nice. Yeah, I like that. Just a little bit at a time. And of course, I'll paint the sides of that painting. They won't be left white. That I can paint them. I usually extend the colour, like say the gold on the right hand side and the gold at the bottom. I'll do gold on the side, and on the other side on the left I'll do the olive green, and then I might do black on top and at the bottom. So I always do that. Just left the painting there for you to have a good look at for a second or two. So I've decided to do a bit more layering on this painting, and I'm using that lovely olive green, but I'm not I'm not rinsing off any colour or wiping off any colour. So I've got some black on the brayer and have mixed it with the olive green, and it's just made a lovely dark olive. So I'll just put a few designs onto that, and I'm just using the lid of a tube of paint. I like those small circles. That's the lid that I'm using. Just like the small circles as well. So I'll just mask that and I'll just use a little bit of these dotty dots. I love those. And so I'll just mask that little area that I've put the design on, and just use that little tiny square, look. And this is why I don't need a big jelly plate. I just usually use the small ones. When I'm doing a huge painting, I do use the large jelly plate, but for this demonstration, I'm just using the small one. I really like this very dark olive green that I've got here, and I'm just using that the lid from a coffee jar again, and sort of moving it, scraping it slightly, not just putting pressure on in a downward motion. I'm just scraping it. I like the effect that that gives, and I use that a lot on a lot of my paintings. It's quite a signature piece, really. I think once you start doing jelly printing, it becomes quite addictive because it's a very easy way of getting lovely patterns for your artwork. I find it very therapeutic and very relaxing because a lot of the time I'm doing impressionist landscapes and seascapes, and they take a lot of thinking about and a lot of technique. Whereas I find that this is it's just lovely. It's just a relaxing, easy peasy way of, of getting designs onto your canvas or your paper. So I'm going to try another layer here, and I'm using a cream again. And this is an absolutely lovely stamp that I got here. Her sister gave this to me. I think it was part of a placemat or something that she got from somewhere. And look at that, it gives a lovely honeycomb effect. And I've also used the coffee jar to give some nice circles on that. I really like this stencil. It gives a nice, a lovely print, actually. So we'll just get that masked off a little bit, just that little top section. I'll get rid of that. And we'll see what it's looking like. So I'm just sort of measuring with my fingers and putting my fingers where I think I want the print to start. I just usually use my thumb or something like that to mark, and then put the canvas in that position. See what that looks like. You never know until you actually take the canvas off. That's a lovely effect, but the edges are hard, so I'm just going to get a baby wipe or something and smooth, yes, there you go, smooth off the edges and smooth them, blend them into the surrounding pattern. Because you can't have those, not really. I don't like this hard edges. And I'll just use that little bit of paint that's still left on the jelly plate to just use on that edge, the very edge of that painting where I've got the cream there, and it'll just extend. That's better. That's really nice. And I don't mind that hard edge at the top, that small area of hard edge. I don't mind that at all. I think it looks nice. So you see how the painting, the abstract painting, is starting, well, it's evolved. All those lovely different colours, the gold and the black, and the cream, and that that lovely green. I love that green. It's very nice, nice earthy colours in there. And I'll use that text stamp again on any areas that look a little bit plain. You know, you don't have to have lots or all text, but just in that area. Now, I think that looks lovely there. You can also use black text on a white, and that looks nice as well. But of course, we've got the dark background, so we need to use the white. And there's a little bit of gold left on that roller, so I thought I would use it up. And I've got a little stamp here that I like as well. Sort of, I don't know what you would call it, but it's like it always reminds me of a Roman style design, especially if you put a line of them together. Anyway, it's just very subtle, but it's there. It's nice. Put one in the corner as well, I think, where there's just a little bit of it's just a little bit of plain area there on the corner. But you have to, when you do this, you have to put your hand underneath it to transfer the image like that. You have to, that's right, there you are, like this. Pretty, very nice. So, very busy, very abstract, and lovely colours, and I think that's what it's all about. And obviously you must do your own colour palette, the colours that you like. You might like reds and blacks and golds and that kind of thing. It all looks lovely. You stick to the right colours. Well, I'm at the end of the painting and I hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you have, it would be lovely if you could like, share and subscribe to my channel. And with that, I'll say bye for now. And as always, love from Cornwall.